Wintry weather expected tonight and tomorrow is causing event cancellations throughout the area. News from the Richmond County School Board and Raider Bowling. On this edition of Live at 5, your nightly news and your Friday edition starts right now. And welcome back to Live at 5. I'm Lance Jenkins. Glad to be back in studio with you. And of course, we're wrapping up your work week with the news and the happenings around Richmond County. Let's get right to it. First and foremost, we've got some news coming in right now, actually, about some events going on this weekend. The Toys for Tots Charity Gala, put on by Wesley Jackson Real Estate, as well as Elliott's on Linden, will be going on tomorrow, Saturday, December the 9th. At 7 o'clock p.m. in Southern Pines. You can see the address at the bottom of your screen right now, 305 Trackside, Northwest Broad Street in Southern Pines. The cost of admission for this event has no monetary value. It's one or more unwrapped toys. You bring one or more unwrapped toys and you'll get into this exciting event. And again, it's put on by Wesley Jackson Premier Real Estate and Elliott's on Linden. And of course, Wesley Jackson's been in studio before. He was a part of the 1997 Raider State Championship football team, and we're certainly glad to have. We were glad to have him back in studio about a month ago. And this is a really wonderful event he and his partners are putting on. So again, Saturday, December 9th, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m., a charity gala for Toys for Tots. Bring one or more unwrapped toys, and that'll get you into the event. Really exciting. And of course, another thing we have going on right now, Freedom Baptist Church is going to be putting on the Bethlehem Inn Dinner Theater. That is coming up next weekend, Saturday, December 16th and Sunday, December 17th. Showtime both nights at 6:30 p.m. The tagline, travel back in time in a cool wintry evening. Enjoy a warm cup of soup and watch as two weary travelers make their way to the Bethlehem Inn. So really neat event, really neat dinner theater type thing going on over at Freedom Baptist Church next weekend. Freedom Baptist Church, of course, is located on US 1 Highway, right just outside of Rockingham. And Debbie Spears is directing that project, and really going to be neat to see. I'll be excited to see that myself. Freedom Baptist Church is a church I call home. And of course, last but not least, do want to mention one other thing, and that is that the Kelly Pickler Phil Vassar concert, which is a highlight of the Cole Auditorium Performing Arts, the DeWitt rather, Performing Arts Series at the Cole Auditorium in Hamlet, is coming up this Thursday, December 14th at 7 o'clock p.m. At the Cole Auditorium. Again, tickets are on sale. You can get your tickets now at the Cole Auditorium box office. A lot going on, and we've got even more to talk about, so let's get right to it now for tonight's top story. Breaking news out of Hamlet. Due to inclement weather, Hamlet City Manager Jonathan Blanton announced this morning that the city's old-fashioned Christmas activities planned for tonight have been canceled. Jonathan Blanton came out with an official statement regarding the event earlier. Quote, old-fashioned Christmas on West Hamlet Avenue has been canceled due to inclement weather tonight, December 8th, but all festivities scheduled for tomorrow, December 9th, on Main Street are still going on as planned, end quote. For more information regarding Hamlet's old-fashioned Christmas, contact City Hall at 910-582-2651. At the December board meeting on Thursday, Richmond County Schools recognized student artists for their artistic talents, specifically in relation to design renderings they submitted for the countywide Christmas card contest. One such winner was Latasha Baker of Hamlet. A senior, Baker hopes to further her training and education in the field of art and has already explored several higher ed options. She noted that she is undecided on college at this time, but East Carolina University and Western Carolina have good art programs with animation specializations, and that is what she is most interested in. As the current president of the Richmond Senior High Art Club, Baker has certainly demonstrated her skills in art as well as leadership. Some of Baker's work will be on display at the upcoming Arts Council Gala at the Cole Auditorium on the campus of RCC on Tuesday, December 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. After the recognition of the talented artists in the county schools, the board was quick and efficient in addressing the 6 remaining items on the agenda. To learn more about the items discussed at the meeting, you see the whole story at richmondobserver.com. Career and Transfer Center Director Patsy Stanley informed the Richmond Community College Board of Trustees at its meeting Tuesday about new transfer pathways to all 16 schools in the University of North Carolina system. as well as 20 other public or private universities in North Carolina. In the board meeting, Stanley provided several examples of these new transfer pathways, including the RCC Appalachian State University Bachelor of Science Criminal Justice degree, the RCC University of North Carolina at Charlotte Bachelor of Science Computer Science degree, the RCC North Carolina State University Bachelor of Science Mechanical Engineering degree, and the RCC UNC Chapel Hill Bachelor of Arts Psychology degree. This is a quote from Dr. Dale McInnes, president of RCC. We are matching things up in new ways for the first time with universities such as UNC Chapel Hill and helping our students piece the steps together to reach the desired educational goals. Navigating the transfer process can be a challenging maze, which is why it's really critical that we are working with our high school counselors and making sure each student has a career plan in his or her first semester of college. In other news, Dr. McInnes reported that the college is closing in on final details with First Health on obtaining space for a simulation facility in the former Moore Regional Hospital Hamlet location, which is adjacent to RCC's main campus in Hamlet. When we come back, folks, I'll have the great honor of sitting down with Russell Parker, our executive producer and college football and NASCAR analyst. He's in studio to talk the college football playoff and more. It's coming up right after this.
At Richmond Community College, we prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. From business to education, engineering, utilities, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, and human services. At Richmond Community College, we can save you thousands of dollars on tuition through our university transfer programs that provide a seamless transition to universities and colleges throughout North Carolina. At Richmond Community College, we are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 5 curriculum programs entirely online. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College. Local college, big impact.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
I'm Kelly. I worked at Champion Ford for 2 years.
6 years.
3 years.
1 year.
I've been at Champion Ford for 13 years.
1 whole year. 15 years.
I'm Jamie and I've been at Champion Ford for 12 years.
I've been here 8 years.
Champion prices, champion service, champion experience.
Get treated like a champion today at Champion Ford. Just down the road from high prices, championfordlincoln.com.
We are Champion Ford.
Family Pharmacy has been serving Richmond County since April 2007, and we have enjoyed getting to know our customers since then. We take our jobs very seriously, and will do whatever we can to make sure you have what you need. Come visit us on Fayetteville Road in Rockingham, and we will treat you like family.
With hospice, you guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
And welcome back to Live at 5. And of course, I have the pleasure of being joined by our executive producer and college football analyst, Russell Parker, on a special Friday edition.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I haven't been here all week, and of course, we have too much to talk about in college football this week not to talk about it. So here we are, folks. Of course, let's take a look back on the screen now of our picks last week. And Russell, I don't know where we were, but we were not in tune with what ended up happening.
We were not. I only got 2 right this past week, and you got only 3 here, so.
I know. And of course, let's talk about what we did get right. We only both got one right. Well, excuse me, let me phrase that. We both selected one team to win their conference championship. We both got that one right, and that was UCF. They remain undefeated on the season. That was a tight game.
Yes.
Very tight game. Of course, Memphis was a ranked team, though.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so they played them well. I think it ended in double overtime.
Yeah, it was a really good game. A lot of people underlooked the AAC conference, but they played pretty good in their conference championship.
They did. Of course, they're 12-0, I think.
Yep.
It's 12-0.
Undefeated.
Undefeated.
And not in the playoffs.
Not in the playoffs. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't like the idea of a Power 5 conference type of deal, and you get the group of 5. Personally, I think they need to make the playoffs bigger to allow more conferences champions in. And I think there's 10 in the Division 1. And they can make a 10-team playoff that play over the month of bowl season, so to get them in there, because I think they should be in there.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's hard for me to look at UCF and really look at them as, can they contend with Alabama?
Probably not.
Probably not, but they are undefeated.
Exactly.
And it is tough to ignore a team that is undefeated that plays D1 ball. And I mean, so I'm with you. I understand. I mean, I don't think they can compete with most of the teams that are in the college football playoff, if any, right now. But if it was expanded, maybe we could see some upsets.
Yeah.
You know?
And they will be playing against Auburn in a bowl game.
Yeah.
So that would be a good matchup for them to see how it goes from there.
And that's the Peach Bowl, I
believe
believe.
so, yes.
So in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, if they're able to beat Auburn, that certainly is a strong case. I mean, I know Auburn's got 3 losses, but let's take a look who they lost to most recently.
Right.
Georgia, who's in the college football playoff. They beat Alabama. They beat Georgia at one point this season, so it's really hard to ignore UCF if they beat Auburn this year. Do you think if UCF were to go undefeated the rest of the season, they beat Auburn, okay, and then they go undefeated next year, do you think that's going to that Auburn win is going to carry some weight? I think so.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, even though it's not the same season, I think they're going to remember that.
But I think one thing that definitely hurts UCF is not scheduling bigger teams outside their conference. So hopefully they've got some good teams to play next season outside their conference.
We'll certainly find out. UCF 12-0 could be a big 13th win if they're able to defeat the SEC West Division champion Auburn. And of course, let's talk about some other things. First off, it is going to be a very interesting college football playoff. You just mentioned a moment ago about expanding, and of course, if any of our viewers remember the Bowl Championship Series, they will remember that there was a time that there was no playoff.
Right.
And, you know, I personally am grateful that there's some sort of playoff, but I listened to Washington State's coach, Mike Leach. I actually posted this on my Facebook page yesterday. He's really, if you hadn't ever listened to this guy, you should listen to him. I mean, he is just an interesting guy I listen to, kind of out there, but I like him. One of the things he said, they talked about expanding the playoff, and he said, well, you know, it's funny, you go and you look at the youth level, and how do they determine a champion? Have a tournament. He said, well, let's move on up towards closer to college. He said, how about the high school level? How do they determine a champion?
They have a playoff.
They have a tournament.
Yep.
They have a playoff. And the winner is the champion. Okay, then you go to Division III football. He says in his video, and this is hilarious, he says, now it's getting suspenseful, okay? D3, how do they do it? I'll be daggone. They do a playoff.
Yes, they do.
All right, and then let's get the D2 and D1 AA. My gosh, they do a playoff too. But let's go ahead and take it a step further to the NFL. His argument is they do a playoff with
Even
more than
NASCAR
4
has a
teams.
playoff
Yeah,
now.
everybody does it with more than 4 teams. Why is it an issue in college football D1 level? Now, I am a fan that they have some sort of playoff. Don't get me wrong. Because beforehand, yes, split national champions, that's crazy, okay? No other sport does that. But the fact that it is that difficult in D1 college football, but it isn't that difficult in any other area of football in the world, it's crazy.
Yeah. I do think the way they've got it set up is great with the 4 teams, but I don't really like the playoff committees, people picking it, because it's a judgment call for everyone to pick who they think is going to be the best one. And they're also going to be they could be basing this stuff off of like who's going to get the best viewership for the playoffs. Some of them might have a bias towards the conference. They may not admit it, but they might have that there. And of course, conference champions not getting into the playoff is pretty crazy. I
Yeah,
know Ohio State won their championship, but they didn't get in. And that also happened last season in the Big Ten with, I think it was Penn State. Same situation.
And also a two-loss team at that time, and Ohio State was, of course, a two-loss team. How do you put, and here's my thing, folks who are arguing for Ohio State, now look, everybody who watches this show knows I'm not a fan of Alabama, and everybody who watches knows he is. But how do you put Ohio State with two losses, and let's talk about those two losses. One of them was a 30-point blowout on the road against Iowa.
Right.
Did you see Iowa play last weekend?
Nope.
Right, you didn't. Because why? They weren't good enough to make it to the conference championship. So they lost to a team that's not even ranked by 30 on the road. And then they lost, I forgot who else they lost to, but goodness gracious.
I don't remember myself.
I don't either. But the point is that the committee's never put a two-loss team in. Alabama got beat by a hot Auburn team that won their division. And I understand they didn't play in the conference championship, and I understand they're not a conference champion. But they've got one loss, and they are playing in a Power 5 conference. Anybody who says that the argument of you got to play in a Power 5, well, they do play in a Power 5 conference, and a pretty daggum good one at that.
Yeah.
And with only one loss, you're going to tell me that they don't get in over Ohio State? I'm sorry, I just don't buy that.
I mean, personally, I do agree that Alabama should be in there. But really, I think conference championships, it seems like they almost have no meaning now, as far as the playoff committee goes. They're just looking at, they look at a bunch of different aspects, not just conference championship, record, strength of schedule. There's a lot of things that go into it. So, yeah, I agree. Alabama one loss versus a two-loss Ohio State. I think Alabama should get the bump in there.
Yeah. So let's talk about those games. Alabama going to be playing Clemson for the third time in a row.
I asked for this game.
Well, you did. Yeah. At some point, of course, the last 2 years they played in the national championship, but this year they will play in the college football playoff semifinal. In the Sugar Bowl, Clemson and Alabama, and of course, it's going to be an interesting game for sure. These two teams have a history, and I'm wondering, does Alabama find themselves on the short end of this game again like last year, or does the Crimson Tide, who got in under kind of controversial terms, do they find themselves in the national championship picture?
Well, like I said, I've been asking for this game, and I do hope Alabama does win that game because they can play Georgia, because I wanted that game as well. But Auburn made that upset happen. But I think they're both been playing in Louisiana. So in a sense, Alabama is more closer to the hometown team there. But Alabama's record in the Sugar Bowl has not been very great. It's like a little curse going on with them in the Sugar Bowl. So I think Alabama might be able to pull this one off. I think they could.
I think that it's, you really got to look at, first off, Alabama will have taken a lot of time off between their last game.
They got a week extra.
And this game, a week extra. And of course, I don't know what that does for Clemson or Alabama. It may have zero effect whatsoever. But Clemson is a hot team right now. I mean, they went into the ACC championship game. You picked Miami, and I thought I might be wrong when I picked Clemson. Matter of fact, I probably only picked Clemson because you picked Miami, And then look what they did to Miami. They slaughtered them. So I think that Clemson comes in hotter than anybody. Maybe Oklahoma's just as hot. I think it's going to be a tough game for Alabama to win. I'm not going to do predictions today, but
yeah, I don't think I want to do predictions either right now. It's so early on from what's going to happen next. I mean, anything can happen between that. I know a few players from Alabama have won a couple of awards. I think Micah Fitzpatrick got an award on the defensive side. But Clemson's got a strong team. Alabama's got a strong team. Anything can happen in that game.
Let's talk about the other side, the Rose Bowl game, which will also be a college football playoff semifinal this year. The SEC champion Georgia will go head-to-head against the Big 12 champion Oklahoma. And I don't think there's any team hotter in the country right now than Clemson and Oklahoma. Oklahoma looks very strong coming into this game. They got work done against TCU. And, of course, the Sooners who are fresh, let's remind everybody that they're fresh off a coaching change. I mean, literally less than 6 months ago, Bob Stoops stepped down. They got a new coach, and here they are, number 2 team in the country, and they're going to be playing for a shot at the national title. So Oklahoma is a hot team, but Georgia, big win over Auburn. Does the SEC bring another team into the national championship? And if they do, how are they going to get it done?
Well, I know there's a lot of controversy with having 2 conference teams two of the same conference teams in the playoffs. So Alabama and Georgia, the SEC. You know, Oklahoma and Georgia going to be a game I'm going to watch very closely. More than Alabama and Clemson, because Oklahoma's just been like that dark horse going through, and Georgia's kind of been up there, and everybody's kind of expected them in this late half of the season to go all the way, maybe all the way to the championship. But I don't know. I think they're going to have to work cut out against Oklahoma for sure.
Yeah, I think they are going to have their work cut out, and right now, if I had to make a prediction, I don't know. I'm going to take a close look at this thing over the next. Right now, if I had to make a prediction, I'm saying Oklahoma. Now, Brian Till wouldn't like that because he's a big Georgia fan, but I'm telling you, I think that Oklahoma is one of the hottest teams in the country right now, and they look strong. I like Oklahoma right now when this game. Right, and if I had to pick right now, I think Clemson plays Oklahoma in the national title game. We'll see. And that would leave both SEC teams out, actually,
right,
which would be very interesting.
The two who were number 1 and number 2 for a few weeks going forward, going into the season here a little bit, not even in the finals.
That's right. Yeah, and could happen. Might work opposite.
But I hope it does, because I've been looking forward to Alabama versus Clemson and Alabama versus Georgia. I've been looking forward to those, because I'm hoping that's what happens.
Well, we shall see. Certainly a possibility for sure. Before we close, I do want to talk about Jimbo Fisher. We got a lot of Florida State fans out there. I'm thinking about Neil Peacock right now over at the area of Richmond Transit. And Florida State losing their coach. Jimbo Fisher bolts, goes to Texas A&M to coach in the SEC. And I've got, I'll be honest, I know you're a big SEC fan, okay? Yep. So don't mean to go here, but I mean, Florida State is one of the most coveted jobs in the country, and you're inheriting a Texas A&M program that I don't really know where it is. Did Jimbo Fisher get out while he could? Because things weren't great in Florida State.
Right, and it just went out like in one season. It just went flat.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened there. I'm sure he doesn't know either.
Well, you remember the first game of the season, Florida State played Alabama.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be like a top 10 matchup.
Yeah.
And then Florida State 6-6. They just barely had to win last week to get in a bowl. You know? And they did. But the question I have is, one, where does Florida State go from here? And two, is Texas A&M really going to be that better? Let's start with Florida State.
Well, I think Florida State's going to have a lot. They have not signed a new coach.
They have, yeah. They oh gosh, we should know this. He just got hired 2 days ago. He's Oregon's former head coach. Oregon's head coach left, and he's joined Florida State.
Well, they should have a decent head coach then, because Oregon had a good run for a while too.
I think they will. I think Florida State's going to be in fine shape. I don't know where the program goes from here, but Texas A&M loses coach in Kevin Sumlin. Never been a big Sumlin fan, but does Jimbo Fisher, is he going to make them that much better? I mean,
well, it's very, very difficult to play in the SEC West with Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and Mississippi State are like the big powerhouses in the SEC West. And Texas A&M is still kind of new to the SEC. They didn't join a conference not that long ago, along with Missouri. But Missouri's had better success than Texas A&M because they've played in 2 conference championship games. But Texas A&M, they've kind of been there. They've been threats to the other teams that they've played against, but they've never really closed out a solid season. But maybe Fisher has 1 championship underneath him at Florida State. He might be able to do that for Texas A&M. At least get them to the SEC championship.
Be interesting to see. Of course, Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons, are going to be playing Texas A&M in the Belk Bowl December 29th. That's Friday at the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Of course, Jimbo Fisher won't be coaching the team at the time, but surely he'll be there to watch his future team play in this bowl season. And I know they're expecting to go to a bigger bowl next year. We'll see what he does at Texas A&M. There it is.
Yeah. And there's about 72 days left until Daytona 500.
72 days?
72 days. I'm still keeping track.
Until the NASCAR season is back,
and Richard Petty Motorsports, they actually just signed on with Chevrolet. They're leaving Ford to go to Chevrolet for 2018.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
big deal. That is a big deal. Yeah, big deal. I know there's a lot of Ford and a lot of Chevy folks out there, and it's interesting to see that type of transition.
Oh, yeah.
Daytona 500, big race. I got the pleasure of seeing Daytona at the Speedway. I had never seen it until this past year.
Oh, wow.
And really, really beautiful place. Kind of the Taj Mahal of racing.
Yeah, it's our Super Bowl stock car racing.
Yep.
That's what they usually dub it as.
Yep, there it is, folks. Your college football and NASCAR roundup. brought to you by Family Pharmacy today, and we are excited to bring it to you every week. We'll be back Tuesday. We'll be talking more college football next week.
We got plenty of bowls to cover.
That's right, and we're going to actually do a preview next week of bowl games. We'll be doing a preview of bowl games as we progress into the bowl season, so you can get all the college football you can handle. Folks, Russell Parker, always a pleasure.
Been fun having been here.
Great, folks. Stay with us. We'll be back for more Live at 5 and news right after this.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
And welcome back to Live at 5. Richmond County native Faith Baxley is hosting her annual blood drive on December 21st at the Rockingham Masonic Lodge 495 from 3 to 7:30 p.m. Baxley is passionate about giving back to the community, and blood is crucial for proper health care. The American Red Cross suggests that everyone should have his or her reason to donate blood. It may be that a friend asked, or a family member or a friend might need blood someday, or maybe because of the belief that it's the right thing to do. Whatever the reason, there is a high demand for blood, so any donation is important. On Tuesday, Rock and Tan had its grand opening and became recognized as an official business member by the Richmond County Chamber of Commerce. Rock and Tan is located on 490 Wiregrass Road in Rockingham. They're open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. To contact the business, call 910-557-5319 or visit rockandtan.com. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back for more sports and weather right after this. We'll be talking about Raiders bowling. Stay with us. And welcome back to Live at 5. Now for tonight's top sports story. The Richmond Senior High School Raiders and Lady Raider bowling teams competed Thursday against Pinecrest and 71st High Schools at the Sandhills Bowling Center in Aberdeen. The Raiders lost to Pinecrest, but the games were close as the Raiders only lost by a few marks per game. However, they won all 5 games against 71st due to forfeit. They had games of 101, 105, 135, and 111, including total pins. They went 5-5 on the day. The Lady Raiders won 2 games against Pinecrest with scores of 126-125. That's a close one, and 122-118, but came out 2-3 overall against Pinecrest. The Lady Raiders were then swept by 71st and finished 2-8 overall on the day. Both Richmond teams will be competing on Tuesday, December 12th against Hoke and Purnell Sweat High Schools in Fayetteville at Lafayette Lanes. The meet is scheduled for 4 p.m. Now, Kelsey Rushin, our chief weather reporter, bringing us your 5-day forecast.
Thanks, Lance. Today's 5-day weather forecast is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Starting with today has been raining pretty much all day. As you can see from our office cam, it's pretty wet out there today. Some streets have some flooding going on, but that's about it. But no snow. But starting tomorrow, Saturday, we'll have morning showers with some sleet with a high of 40 and a low of 27. So be careful tomorrow with the sleet and the rain, and make sure that you are prepared for whatever's going to happen. And then Sunday will be sunny, which is pretty ironic considering the name, with a high of 46 and a low of 26. Monday will also be sunny with a high of 53 and a low of 33. And Tuesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 55 and a low of 24. And Wednesday will be sunny just like Sunday and Monday with a high of 38 and a low of 24. Other than that, we have 17 days till Christmas. As you see, I'm prepared. I really want to eat this right now. But other than that, let's go back to the desk to end the show.
And we appreciate you joining us for this Friday edition of Live at 5. And that's it. We'll be back next Monday for another edition of Richmond County's Nightly News. Remember, you can always watch the show on demand if you don't catch it live. It's available on the official Richmond Observer app for iPhone and Android devices, as well as richmondobserver.com, our YouTube channel, and of course on Facebook. We appreciate you joining us, folks. We'll see you Monday as we bring you another edition of Richmond County's official Nightly News, the news you deserve. Live at 5, signing off now. So long.